The easiest way for me to enter where you are is through your hands. And if you call upon me with the name that is given to me as the healing angel, as Archangel Raphael, you will feel my presence as I may hover as a spiraled energy of emerald light moving toward you. And as that presence begins to move toward you, you may begin to feel and allow yourself to sense the presence of the warmth in your hands as I am merging and collaborating with your energetic field. And through that, I invite you then to take your hands and to just gently bring them to your body and just gently take them a tiny bit off the body, not even perhaps a quarter of an inch back and forth, and feel the energy from your hands, and then feel my energy with you moving into these spaces in your body, and then begin to feel all of the love that is coming in. And you can even say out loud and connect to loving yourself. Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Kelly Kalani. I'm known as the Angel Lady. Yesterday, I popped on YouTube live unexpectedly for the 999 portal, and Raphael asked me to do that. It was like dinner time, and Raphael was like, "You got to get on and do this." So I did. And from reading the comments, people had a lot of benefit from that particular activation. And some people were concerned with that they didn't listen to it yesterday, and is it still okay to listen to it today? And absolutely, energetically, that's open now, that frequency, as we head into the solar eclipse and the fall equinox, which is coming up at the end of September on the 21st and the 22nd. So if you didn't listen to it, you may want to do so, because energetically what's happening is we're shedding, releasing, purging so much physically, emotionally, mentally. And that activation helps us release it and kind of step over thresholds and gateways to merge with our I am that I am presence, with our divine original blueprint. And so if you have a chance to listen to that, great. And then we've got a lot going on in September, very profound energetic month, a lot of energy. We had the lunar eclipse on the 7th. Then we had the 999 portal. And then we've got coming up a partial solar eclipse on September 21st and the fall equinox on the 22nd. So lots of energy to navigate. On the 22nd, we're going to gather in community. In an activation where I will be channeling Archangel Raphael, but I'll also be bringing in the cosmic mother, the divine mother energy. We're going to be opening a portal into some very powerful divine feminine frequencies to support us and hold us in the womb of creation in this very nurturing and beautiful way to carry us through till we come up against that winter solstice. So 4 times a year between the 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices, the energy is very potent, and these are very powerful gateways. So I encourage you to join us for that. It's donation based, so whatever you want to contribute or not, you can. And it'll be at 11:11 a.m. On the 22nd, which happens to be a Monday. The 22nd is also another double number, and we'll do it at 11:11, and it's connected with Mary Magdalene, and I feel her energy coming in for the rest of this year as well. So a lot happening, and I'm excited to be here with you on this journey as we move through this last section here of 2025. It's been quite a ride. And what they're showing me is the energy is going to continue to be a lot, and perhaps really intensify in the coming months. So the more we can be grounded and centered and in community and holding love and a vision for the new earth, the better. All right. If you are new to this call or this platform, I do this every Wednesday. There should be, if you're watching this on YouTube, a place to click where you can become a free member. And with that, you can dial in on the Zoom call like people are doing today. raise your hand and ask a universal question to the Angel Raphael that benefits the entire audience. So I'm going to just jump in with that. One other thing is if people here love to be creative and do artwork and are people that love to self-reflect and are into healing and especially magic. Debishri and I are doing a beautiful class on the 22nd. So we'll have the equinox and then we'll go right in to what's called the cosmic mirrors. And we're going to be working with mirrors on deep self-reflection and embodying the cosmic mother. And we're going to play, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to make things, and we're going to be outside and do all kinds of stuff. Last time Debishri did a workshop, everybody loved it. She's an incredible artist and an architect, and I'll be there with her, and we'll be doing that together. So you can register for that as well. Okay, I think that's all the announcements. So with that, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to make some toning sounds. That's how I bring in Archangel Raphael. My hands kind of move around. Sometimes my eyes open when I channel. That's been happening more. Hopefully that's just what's happening. And I'll say hello. And wherever you are in the world, you're just going to say hello back. And that's how we connect. And then we'll open it up, and Casey will be asking people to raise their hand and ask a question. All right. Anything else, Case, before we get started?
No, I think that's about it. And if you have your hand raised, I'm more likely to call on you if I can see you, just so that we're aware of that. All right, awesome.
All right. Fabulous. Oh. So everyone, want to just make sure you're muted, and also let's just take a nice deep breath and come into the presence of the here and now. And just center yourself in your body. Mm. And I'm just opening up my vessel to the highest capacity of my ability to be a clear, loving, unconditional channel of light to support any and all those listening to this now and at any time moving forward. So it is. Ah. Oh, oh, no, oh, oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Wow. We are very excited, as always, to be here and to connect with all of you and to support you in coming into a calibration and frequency of coherence and of love. And we recognize at this time that there are things in which you are wanting to talk to us about. And so, what is it?
Hi, Raphael. So, right now we are in a very powerful gateway since that blood moon on the 7th till now. And what I'm wondering is, what should people be aware of? And how are we being called to grow and face whatever is coming to us in our life right now?
Oh, well, much will be showing up in the physical body for a lot of energy around the density of the body itself is arising and requiring our energy and attention, or your energy and attention at this time to bring into balance. And on an emotional level, there is a lot of feelings happening and a lot of emotion that rises very high and that might then drop very low. That is also beckoning you to bring into coherence and to balance. And the mental mind also may be running many patterns. So it is at feeling a bit difficult, should we say. It is not the easiest energy to navigate right now, but it is propelling you forward rapidly. It is pushing you, in a sense, like a wind at your back, and it is bringing you in front of the mirror. It is asking you to look in the mirror, to really see the truth, to release any denial about anything that perhaps you are not looking at, or not facing, or not really seeing, or that you haven't been taking care of, or that you have put on the sideline. And it is bringing that mirror up close, right in front of you, and is lighting and illuminating it so that you may take inventory and recognition of where it is that you are in this absolute moment, with a complete clarity of that perfection, and a willingness to bring compassion and to bring love to that reflection, even if it at this moment may not be appearing or reflecting exactly what you are wanting to see, and simultaneously to recognize whatever is being asked or coming to the surface or is needed at this time to bring back into balance, to bring back into healing, to take time to address and not to put aside. So, what this energy is bringing is a recognition that things that perhaps were put on the back burner, or that I will get to my health, or I will take care of that issue in my house, or I will deal with that job I don't like, or I'll work on my relationship later, or whatever it may be, is surfacing, and it is coming up very close, and it is being mirrored in your experience, because it is asking and requiring you to clean it up. And as you take this time in these coming weeks before the entrance point through passing into the equinox vibration of equal parts, it will come back into balance. And then you're going to move into a space or a void or in a place of creation, a beautiful creation point, an entrance into a momentum that will be carrying you as you move through the coming months and into the closure of this year. And so, this period of time between where you are now and the entrance of the portal that will be opening wide as you pass through during the equinox is a time of inventory, a time of reflection, and also a time of action to take steps and to pay attention and to be proactive in clearing, cleaning up, healing whatever is arising at this moment.
All right. Thank you, Raphael. So, to sum that up, we're looking to reflect on where we are in truth, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and to be as proactive and honest as possible during this time.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Raphael. All right. So, I'm going to open it up for questions, and we're going to start with Skybird.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Mm.
I am wondering, in this time of moving towards more unity consciousness, how we can heal some of the racial divides that are going on, that are feeling so strong now, and how can we help those who see the world through that racial lens?
Well, this is surfacing because it lies very deeply embedded in the ancestral lineages, and it is coming up to be seen and to be faced. And so you notice pockets of this division or racism that is appearing around the globe. And it is asking and requiring not to move in a state of wanting to change the mind of another who perhaps sees in the things in this way, and it divides and separates themselves and their own divinity from the mirrored reflection and the beauty of another who is simply a part of themselves, but to rise up in solidarity toward creating and mirroring unity. And so it is not so much to push against or to fight the idea of racism, but it is to counteract that vibration by gathering collectively across political lines, across religious ideologies, across particular perspectives or skin color, and to come together with a singular focus and purpose, which is unity, which is love, which is compassion, toward wanting to bring the majority of the people on your planet to wake up, to do what is needed to create a momentum and an energy that has such a powerful force that in itself will move so rapidly like a wave of love across the planet that will inspire so many others that perhaps are a bit lazy in that regard to join in, and others and others and others, until it becomes this momentous movement and the recognition of that vibration of unity, of love, of connection, of collaboration, of community becomes so much more predominant than the few that get so much attention, that are creating such havoc and disruption due to the fact that they are hating or disliking or placing others separate from themselves. And that when one feeds into that and puts all of your attention upon that, that gives it a lot of power. But if that same energy that is directed with hate toward those who are acting in a racist way to hate them, and you deflect or turn around from that to create collaboration, connection, and union with one another, there is a movement that will be happening. And it is just beginning, a tickling is occurring right now on your planet. Just enough movement where people are beginning to gather. And it is not that it has to be that you are gathering against something, but you are gathering toward something. And it is the masses of people that when they collectively come into collaboration and into union toward something through their song, through the lighting of a candle, through a moving on the streets, for singing in light, for holding peace, for bowing down to their own divinity in a peaceful manner, that this movement will begin to proliferate around the planet, and there will be a rejection of those things that support these ideologies that create division and separation, and that are also very much fueling what you would call war. The wars that are playing out on the screen of your globe at this time are fueled by a few. And those few are playing like on a chessboard, different parts, and much of it is occurring in a way that is not perceived by the many. But the many are recognizing, as the veil is thinning, what is happening, and that they are pawns in this play, and that they are no longer wanting to be. And as they recognize that, when they stop participating, although it may be very passive and not direct, in certain ways, and reclaim their own power, that then those energies that are moving everything around will not have the energy or the players to do or to carry out, or the workers to deliver the weapons, or to purchase the goods, or etc. And so the consciousness is going to rapidly shift, where the larger numbers of people on your planet who are remembering who they are going to make decisions and choices that will cut off the fuel that is needed by the few that are feeding off of it. And when that happens, their power is no longer viable. And so it might appear that the few who have the machinery or the weapons or are in charge are in control, but they are only in control as complicit as the orders in which they are asking to be carried out are carried out by the masses. And when there is pushback on that, and when the delivery stops, or when the weapons are not sent over the seas, when the workers sit down, there will be unrest, but that unrest will be temporary until the numbers become so large that they are overwhelming to the few. And so that energy, which is very revolutionary, very that is coming from underneath, that is bubbling right now, that is just beginning to be tickled, will be rising. And it is through those actions of speaking one's truth in the most peaceful way, in the most honorable way, will create change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Kathy.
All right. Thank you for the chance to ask a question, Casey. I appreciate it. Mine has to do with, I know I'm not the only one. So many people are on medications today. And I was told by someone that because of being on medication, that it would interfere with my ability to raise my frequency. So, and attain higher level of consciousness. So I was just wondering, if that's true. I did ask in the community chat and was said to bring forward into this session. So I'm asking, in terms of all of us who are on medications, if it will interfere with our ability to achieve higher frequencies.
Do you believe that it will?
No, not really.
But
But I'm worried.
Because it is that your belief is everything. And so if you believe that that is true, that the medication is so powerful and so present that it has the power to keep you from raising your vibration and elevating your frequency, then it will become that powerful. But if you recognize that perhaps for a moment or a period of time, whatever is unfolding within your body, you perhaps are needing at this time a medication to bring it into balance. Perhaps that's even helping you to raise your vibration. And so it is very important not to give energy to others who tell you that. Now, of course, when one is eating very clean and their food is coming from the sunlight directly and they are picking it out of their garden and they are drinking structured water and they are meditating and they are doing all of the things that are being asked to do to elevate their frequency within their body temple that supports the rising of their vibration. And when there are a lot of latent chemicals that are processed food or heavy medications that come into the body, it can deaden the frequency and in some regards, yes, lower it. However, that does not mean that you cannot raise your vibration while simultaneously taking a medication, because oftentimes one is also interfacing with something that is supportive in their healing process, and that brings them more into coherence, which allows for an easier gateway in the raising of their vibration. So there is no black or white answer around that, other than the importance of your own belief system that you are able to raise your vibration regardless of whether you are taking medication or not. And that is absolutely true. And yet, simultaneously, it is also important to support the body with as much nutrients and sunlight and rest and water and energies that bring and help the energy of the body temple to be a vehicle for the residents of your energetic field to increase. And so do not worry about this, nor take this seriously by wherever it was that you are hearing that, but recognize that you are in alignment with your vibration, and that your belief system and that your choices in accordance with that are determined by you, as you are the master creator of your experience.
Wow. Thank you, Raphael. It's been an
Oh,
honor.
you're
Thank you.
Thank you. All
Oh.
right, Adrian Gray.
Thanks, Casey. Hi,
hello, hello.
Hi, Raphael. How's it going? I talk to you every day, so it's so cool to hear your voice coming through Kelly. So for those of us who might be in a soul contract and are dealing with someone who's habitually hurting or taking advantage of people, how do we choose between the paths of forgiving and forgetting or actively seeking justice, especially considering that ultimate goal of peace and harmony?
Well, justice is an interesting word and a vibration. Perhaps we could go more into where it is needed for there to be a boundary, a place of safety, a place in which one is severing ties, disconnecting, no longer needing to be in a mirrored reflection of that energy. However, justice is a feeling that one should be punished for their particular actions or way of being. And there are many different levels of punishment that can occur. However, that punishment is not necessarily the one who perhaps was in relationship in a victim frequency's business, as much as it is to create a sense of safety for themselves, a boundary for themselves, healing for themselves, and a direction of where it is that they are going. Unless justice, meaning that one needs to be removed from a particular situation in order for actual physical safety to take place, then those particular laws that are in place may need to be activated. And so I would look at the word justice versus boundaries versus healing versus coming into alignment with what is needed for the one who perhaps felt that they were the victim of something of another.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Lynn.
Hi, thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Raphael, yesterday with the extraordinary gifts we received during the 999 portal, how did these gifts fit with our soul contract? For example, with this transmission, we are relieved of ancestral diseases that could be inherited. But what if that is included in our soul contract to occur in the future? I guess as we ascend with all these healings that are occurring, how is the soul contract affected or not?
Oh, well, the contract can be void and nulled at any time, for there is no contract in the future. So there is nothing that is already predestined in your future that is your contract. You may have an overall contract to come into a healing around a particular ancestral lineage or wounding, in which in any given time along the unfolding of your human experience, you can choose to clear that, to heal that, in which it no longer is carried nor needs to be moved forward into the future. And so a concern about a future contract that doesn't necessarily exist unless you are in alignment and have signed off that it does, or wanting it to exist, can be nulled and voided at any given time when enough awareness is brought and enough light to the unfolding of what was brought within the original contract to come to completion, in which you step over that threshold into the opening of something new, a new creation, in which you are no longer carrying the inheritance of that frequency forward by a conscious choice of your awareness that has come to its completion. And so there is no need to worry or fret about something that is not in the presence of this moment, or a contract in which you cannot be consciously aware of, that you think is somehow will be presenting itself in future timelines, because those timelines are decided and created by you and through you, through your awareness that they are there or not there, depending upon how conscious one is. And so as you move through the activation, and there is a conscious choice within that activation to dissolve and to release and to truly, without hesitation, completely in a free way, to step over that threshold, you are leaving, in a sense, behind, and it is reintegrated and returned to source, the energy in which was the mirrored reflection in which you were searching for within your soul's contract that has come to completion, which opens doorways to new contracts that are then created for you and by you.
Thank you so much.
So September is a big month for 2025, and we are approaching the fall equinox, that happens to be on a new moon this year, right after a solar eclipse, and on the 22nd, which is a very powerful vibration for the twin flame energy for Mary Magdalene. And we're going to enter into the fall equinox and open a portal to the divine feminine, because we're preparing for the winter solstice, where there's going to be this wave of love and energy. We're calling it, and tuning it to, like a galactic baby, a vibration being born on the winter solstice. And so the fall equinox comes in, and that's going to open up a portal where we're going to be held in this very nurturing, beautiful space, and a lot of healing is going to take place during that time. The veil will be very thin, and I will be channeling not only Archangel Raphael, Mary Magdalene will be present, and the Divine Mother's vibration, who's so sweet and loving and nurturing. So if you want to step into that frequency, it'll be on the 22nd at 11:11 a.m. We're going to pass through a powerful portal as a community, and when we can gather together and just all be in love and in unity and light simultaneously, then we just open and widen that space to birth the new consciousness, as that very first wave is going to be really blanketing the planet. So join us, click the link, I think, in the description below here, and it's donation based, and we'll see you there. Okay, love, love. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you are welcome.
Thank you. All right, Dawn White.
Hi. Oh, thank you, Casey. Thank you.
Hello, hello.
Oh, I'm so happy to
Hello.
oh,
Hello.
so much for taking my question. My question, Angel Raphael, is how can people best open a space of communication and connection with adult children who become no contact and estranged from their parents, especially when the parents may also be survivors of their own generational childhood trauma?
This is something that arises often and appears to be commonplace among people on planet Earth at this time, as these energies or beings in this generation are believing that if they were to sever communication with the energy in which the vibration was threaded through in their ancestral lineage, that they will then somehow be healed from it or be able to move forward. And yet at the same time, true healing doesn't ever occur through the denial and the full severing of something, unless it is coming into wholeness within them or within the other. And so from the perspective of one who perhaps is feeling sadness around the absence or connection or communication with family members, it is important to work with it energetically, because until it is healed on an energetic level, it may not appear in the physical level to come forward, in which an open connection and communication can be mended. And sometimes it is not mended in the physical, and one must come to terms with the possibility that that may be true. And it is in the understanding that that may be the case, in a surrendering to that, in which there is not a hooking into that vibration, opens up a space that actually real healing sometimes occurs. And so we would encourage at this time to energetically bring that to those in which there is distress or discordant connection or lack of communication, and move into the higher self, to your I am that I am presence, to your original self, and to invite them as well to join you on an energetic level from a higher perspective without the personality matrix, and move into conversation, move into sending love, move into forgiveness, healing, and compassion regularly for many periods of time and days, and until you personally are feeling released and healed and whole. And that may take time. And through that, then sometimes doors open and connections happen and healing happens in the physical, but regardless, it is healed on an energetic level.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Leora.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you, Raphael, for the invitation to ask for healing through you. My question is, how may we best align to the frequency of Raphael and ask for the healing offered us? And how are we to discern which guide or guides to ask for this in a coordinated and symbiotic way? And anything we can do to be the most open and receptive to the healing?
The easiest way for me to enter where you are is through your hands. And if you call upon me with the name that is given to me as the healing angel, as Archangel Raphael, you will feel my presence as I may hover as a spiraled energy of emerald light moving toward you. And as that presence begins to move toward you, you may begin to feel and allow yourself to sense the presence of the warmth in your hands as I am merging and collaborating with your energetic field. And through that, I invite you then to take your hands and to just gently bring them to your body, and just gently take them a tiny bit off the body, not even perhaps a quarter of an inch, back and forth, and feel the energy from your hands, and then feel my energy with you moving into these spaces in your body, and then begin to feel all of the love that is coming in. And you can even say out loud and connect to loving yourself. And then just gently taking your hands, both of them at the same time, and moving them just tenderly all around your body. And when you hit on a particular place, feel my energy come in and then just lift up a little. And then on that same place, bring your hands back down. And as you move this around your body, you will begin to connect again with your own body temple and with how powerful it is. And you'll start to signal to your body that it is receiving energetic healing energy. But you're also signaling to your body that you're paying attention to it. You're signaling to your body that you love it. You're signaling to your body that you're listening to it. And as you start to turn on these signals in your body, the innate intelligence that formed your body, that did not happen by you doing anything, it was just formed within the womb of your mother, and it was miraculously created. The creational energy that created you starts to stir because it feels that you are acknowledging it. And as you bring presence and acknowledgement to it, it begins to liven. And as it livens and you give it energy and you receive my energy, which is operating at a different octave, that is not operating in any stories around your body, but has unconditional love for it, it starts to turn on the engine, the intelligence, the ability for your body to self-heal.
Mhm. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Susan.
Hello.
Hello.
My question relates to adoption, which touches a majority of families. So adoptees often navigate life experiences that highlight themes such as abandonment, separation from their ancestry, their identity, perhaps a sense of otherness, and a search for belonging. And they feel those things even as they feel gratitude for being chosen and welcomed into non-biological families. So, given these specific themes associated with adoption, do you have a message for adoptees of any age and their adoptive families that relate to the current shift?
It is not an easy decision to choose to come as a baby who is then transferred out of its genetic lineage and entering into another frequency or pod. However, it is a choice by the soul to do this, and it is one by the parents as well on both ends, and it is part of their unfolding and their journey. And it is that often they are in a spiritual monad together, and yet the circumstances of the energetic or the genetic component isn't able to align due to the unfolding of their particular destiny and life plan to allow a union on a genetic level, but the monad of the original soul family or tribe in which the soul is wanting to connect to is not able to connect to it in this genetic way. And so there is a decision on the soul level and on the adopted parent level and on the birth parent to bring through the energy that is needed to come through to carry a particular genetic signature, and that vibration of that genetic signature that is then needed to connect into the monad of this other family, because it is carrying codes that otherwise would not cross over, that begin to intermingle and allow for an unfolding and a growing within that family unit that would otherwise not be able to take place. And so it is a beautiful thing. And it is a mingling of energies and codes that otherwise would not interact, that allow for receptivity for those in the family of adoption to be able to carry, and is morphed actually within their own genetic lineage to carry those energies forward. And so it is very beautiful. Now we understand that the imprint on an emotional level from the disruption or the tearing apart, which creates these wounds of abandonment and a sense of separation, are difficult for all involved. And that in itself is a collective wound that then is attention is brought to by all parties involved to bring healing to, in the recognition that the separation, although it is real, isn't actually real, because you are connected to all of it simultaneously, and an ability to bring healing to that abandonment frequency. And so, although it is not always the easiest journey, it is a brave journey, and it is one where much love, much healing, much evolution takes place for all parties involved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Joanna.
Thank you.
Hello.
Daisy. Hello, Raphael.
Hello.
Thank you for this opportunity. I wrote it down because, yeah, it's to make it clear. So, I love listening to Kelly channeling you, obviously, and I listen to other channelers and to other spiritual teachers. And just recently, I heard a lady who said that she doesn't listen to anybody else because somehow she believes it can hinder or interfere with her own downloads. And it made me think a lot about it. And I don't know if this is our case, my case, and other people in this community. I also thought if maybe it's a kind of spiritual laziness, or like, whereas how to maintain the balance and listen between listening to others and learning from others, like I mean other humans, and getting in touch with our own spiritual guidance, doing our own channeling. Like, I hope you know what I mean.
Yes. It is always of most importance to go inside and to internally bring awareness to whatever it is that you are seeking, that all of the answers are always there. And yet, sometimes, like anything, one looks for or needs some support in opening up space to find those answers, to align with that space, to open the doorway, to enter to the heart, to release denser frequencies, to lighten one's vibration so that the path is clear and the answers are felt and the feeling is known and the energy rises within your own internal being, and you bring forth and align with the truth of your own divinity. And so the need to seek spiritual guidance by others is like any teacher in which you spend time with, wherever it may be, that shares practices and information and support. And then there comes a time in which that you have outgrown that teacher, and that teacher is no longer supporting you, but becomes what you are saying, lazy or a crutch. And it is time for you to fly and to really go inward and to know your own truth, your own divinity. And so, whether it is you're in a church listening to someone share information, or you are sitting on the floor as a monk and the head monk is teaching you the mantras, or you're in a classroom and someone is sharing with you science and math, there are always opportunities for wisdom and reflection and teaching from others. And once that information has been gathered and you feel that you have received what is needed, then that internal engine, that creativity, those downloads, those internal knowing, opening space for whatever is needed arises, and the need to seek outside of yourself begins to fall away. And so, if you are feeling within your own being that all of that is now ready, that you have completed your schooling, and that you are ready to fully fly and hear and know from an internal place whatever is needed with less input from outside references, then you should follow that path. For ultimately, everything you are always searching for is always inside. We hear as messengers of energy and light from the angelic realm are simply that, messengers to support you so that you can remember, so that you can awaken to and feel that frequency of love to your own divinity, for it is you that is always the light.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, Maureen.
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Hello.
How are you? It's been a long time. Well, I have a question that might seem unusual. My question is about tattoos. So I was taught by my spiritual teacher that they can be portals. And my question is, how may they be worked with as a portal to connect with our guides or source? Because I was guided to get a particular one, and I feel that I'm supposed to develop that connection.
Well, yes, they are a symbol and they carry potency and they carry energy. And then they are embedded and chosen deliberately to be placed on your body temple. And if they are chosen for that, they carry a potency and a purpose. If one chooses to potentize them by consecrating them with energy and giving them that power. And so, if you want to give the power to it, like you would any symbol that is either on your body or perhaps placed on an altar or anywhere through giving your attention to it, it can become a gateway, a connection, a portal to the divine or to a particular guide or energetic being by your choice of recognizing that you're potentizing it by giving it and consecrating it through your energetic field. And now, simultaneously, another may have a tattoo, or they may have placed it there when they were young and have forgotten about it. And it is like a squiggly on their skin. It is not something they are giving energy or attention to. It does change the energetic blueprint of the auric field because it is an influence on it, just like wearing a necklace with a symbol does the same, or a stone. All of these things are affecting within your field and can be portals when given attention to move through and guide you in another direction. So it is dependent upon how much energy you give it, attention and credence that it is a portal and that you consecrate it in that way and choose to use it as such toward a specific means. However, we would support the idea of not opening it as a portal unless you are clear as to what is that you are moving through and entering to, and for what purpose and why, and what it is you are receiving.
Oh, that's very much understood. I agree with you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Andrea.
Me? Andrea Valeska?
Yes.
Hi, wow. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, thank you so much for this opportunity. And it's so within with the question of the tattoo. So my question is regarding healing the relationship with wealth and money. And I'm under the understanding that there is a shift of wealth happening in the world that is moving from the hand of the greed to those with are leading from the heart. And many of us has been working very deeply into healing the relationship with wealth, especially if we come from a lineage of indigenous people where capitalization and colonization hurt so much. And my question is, how much work it is required to heal this relationship, and how much is to just let go and trust in the space of uncertainty to take care of ourselves, and then to have plenty and enough to take care of those who we want to take care of.
Well, it isn't something so much to work at because then you are giving it the attention that it requires work for it to be. It just is. And yet the programming and the stories around it that are deeply embedded are asked to be collapsed, but they can only be collapsed when one can fully step into a state of faithfulness that and a trusting that it is there and they can fall back into it. And yet, when it is not there, it is very difficult to trust and to fall back into it because it isn't there. And so there is this wanting for it to be there, and which starts to create a spiraled energy of lack because there's a recognition that there is a spaciousness and emptiness to that in which you are wanting to create. And so you're searching for it. And in the searching for it, you are sharing that it is something that is already missing. And so it requires coming into a state of allowance within your own being in that it is there. even if it isn't there. And so it is difficult to perhaps fully grasp from your perspective, but it is an embodiment of a frequency that it already is. And then that creates a sense of safety within yourself, a comfortability that you can lean on it. And then the grasping or the needing for it falls away, and then it is able to flow. And so it requires coming into a different state of mind that is not operating from the past and is not actually projecting into the future, but deeply moving into the presence that in each moment, everything in which you need is there, and that it is there, and that it is abundant, with a full focus on any abundance that is already present and expanding upon that and feeling that frequency that it already is. And it is in the isness that it is, one can relax into it in the trusting that it will always be that way. And then the aperture expands for the energy to grow and the abundance to flow. It is that there are many teachings on this, and some are more potent than others. And we worked with this in the beginning of the new year with Lakshmi, because this is a very powerful energy, and her yantras are very powerful in the creation and expansion of abundance. And so we encourage you to revisit or to enter into the light code of abundance. And we can almost guarantee that through the practices and the adornment and the gratitude and the transmissions and the frequencies and the work of this particular code, that is one of the 55 codes, but is essential in the enlightenment of the human being to move into their light body, they must be in abundance. And so mastering abundance through these frequencies will support you deeply, and it will elevate you to a space in which the energies will begin flowing without a need for working. That doesn't mean that you won't be working and generating income and doing, but you won't have to work at the creating of abundance itself. You shall become the magnet, of magnetism for that vibration, because it simply is.
Thank you so much. And I did the code, and actually I tattoo myself with the Sri Yantra after that code.
Yes, and so visit again and keep working it, because that code will open the floodgates to enormous amounts of abundance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. We're Leela.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I am asking on behalf of parents of young teenagers and those of us who are reparenting ourselves to find a space of inspiration from you, Raphael, to assist with when a person is perhaps saying, I am an atheist, and yet displaying some evidence of believing in their own intuition through muscle testing, and this contradictory path of becoming more of who they really are. I'm asking for some words of love and healing, and thank you so much for all the healing.
We are loving this vibration of atheists, because atheists believe in nothing. And nothing is where everything comes from. It is the source of creation. And so there is really nothing that is of this ideology, and it is nothing for you to worry about. And although we do not attune to personal things, we will share with you that the one in which you are speaking of is deeply intuitive and deeply spiritual, but is pushing fighting against in a rebellious state of anything spiritual to come into alignment with their own truth. And that as time unfolds and as they grow, they will gather their own sense of inspiration and their own path toward their connection with their divine self and their spirituality. And the more that you can let go of concern around that and allow them to unfold and to truly be who they are in that unfolding without concern of where it is leading, the more they are likely to let go of the rebellious frequency and align with the energy that they know within their heart is true, that for now they have chosen to reject, but we can tell you it is temporary.
All right, excellent. And we'll do our Isabel Casey. Or is that it?
Hello.
Hello.
So my question is, as parents awakening to higher consciousness, we often feel deep sorrow when we realize how our past actions may have impacted our children. We come to see that by neglecting our own needs, we also neglected theirs, and that what we avoided seeing in ourselves, we also avoided seeing in them. When awareness reveals what we were not ready to face before, the weight of guilt and grief can be heavy. Even though we may shift our perspective, the change in our children is not as immediate because repair takes time. Yet I know that healing and repair are always possible. How can we be guided to move through this with compassion and to support both ourselves and our children with love? Thank you.
Wow. Well, it is this deep sense of self-reflection, that perhaps a recognition that something may have unfolded that impacted your child is admirable, and that in itself is extraordinarily healing. However, it is a reminder to you and to all that there is no parent that does not have an impact that creates some type of trauma or wound or infliction of some kind on a child, for that is the integration and interfacing and connection and part of your journey together and the evolving of your growth and theirs. And so the greatest gift that you can give your child is to forgive yourself, to recognize that that is part of the human experience, to release that guilt, and to actively move forward with a free and open heart that is not riddled with or carrying heavy weight of guilt, because that then too becomes a mirrored reflection and a learning opportunity for them as they grow and evolve and maybe carrying some of that themselves, to recognize that you are able to release that and love yourself and to come into balance, and they will mirror that within themselves. So the greatest gift that you can give to your child when you think that you have caused them harm is to actually forgive yourself, and then they can forgive you because you have forgiven yourself. And healing can occur while simultaneously sharing with them, perhaps, that you are deeply sorry for anything in which you have ever done that has impacted them, for it, and let it be at that. But then forgive your own self.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Is that all?
I was gonna say one last question and we'd let Jennifer go.
What is it?
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question about speaking your truth when it comes to trauma and being victimized in large platforms and certain modalities such as spoken word, song, poetry. How do you know that you are surrendering to divine will and that you're not holding people hostage of creating your own story? And how do you know that it's from a pure space, not from a space of monetization or gaining unconscious power over other people because of your victimization?
It's simply,
Well,
simply an asking. If you are asking this about yourself, you must reflect, you must go within. Is it truly coming from a place of pure heart? Is it coming from a place of service? Would you be doing it if you were not receiving anything for it? Would you be doing it regardless of whether you receive praise or criticism? What is the metrics in which your choices are being made from? Is it being made or done from a place of fear or from a place of love? It is simply the intention itself that is everything. And so, what is the intention and where is it originating from? What is the origin of that intention? And when one seeks real truth and deep reflection in the answering of those questions, some things may be revealed that perhaps are not fully in alignment, and some may be really in alignment. And then how can you bring it all into alignment and come with absolute integrity to the table of the sharing of your gifts with others with a pure heart in which there is no regret or curiosity or wondering? However, if there is deep wondering of the intention of where it is coming from, and questioning of it, that may be that it is coming to the surface simply to be reflected upon, and through that to get greater clarity as to where it is that you are going, why you are going there, for what purpose. And if everything else in relationship to it was no longer there, would you continue to do it?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We are very delighted to have been here and to attune to all of you today. And we are opening and bringing much light into your hearts, an enormous love, and inviting you to be easy and soft and loving with yourself while simultaneously deeply reflecting in the coming weeks ahead prior to the equinox and putting things in order and taking care of what needs to be cared for so that you are ready to enter and pass through that spaciousness into a place of creation with a pure and clear heart. With that, many blessings, much love, and good day. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining today. It's always nice to be with all of you. I had some interesting questions, a lot of questions about family and emotions and dealing with things. So that must be on everybody's mind. I hope this was supportive and helpful. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you in the Cosmic Mirror workshop for magic, art, and fun, and Equinox. All right. Take care and
Thanks,
bye.
Kelly.